Kansas that were very pleasant today. However, we are looking for a new front to begin to drift south and eastward. In parts of Kansas will very probably be cloudy in the morning, and then western Kansas will begin to get increasing cloudiness by tomorrow afternoon. Today, however, very, very pleasant reading. 73 up in the Goodland area, 72 at Garden City, 70 reported by Dodge City and Liberal, 72 over by the good folks of Garden. And in the Ponca City Blackwell area, 68 degrees today. Winds southerly at about 15 with gusts of 25 miles an hour. Barometric pressure 30.00 and is rising. And no half-inch behind, correction, half-inch ahead for the year, and 1 53/100ths behind for the year so far. We'll be looking for a little bit of a change tomorrow, and of course the possibility of some scattered showers. Today, of course, there's nothing showing up on the radar. However, the satellite photo was pretty interesting for the western half of the U.S. Rain showers and thunder showers along that frontal system, and that wide band of fairly heavy snows. Now, what will happen each time that you see the frontal system on there, that begins at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then you'll see the cloud pattern move until 2 o'clock this afternoon. So as of that time, of course, the front was way off in the northwest. Now, however, it's moving into the central part of the nation with a couple of high-pressure cells behind it. Behind it, and a few pockets of low pressure, and a fairly heavy band of rain showers and snow all the way from the eastern portions of Montana down to western sections of Nevada. And of course the massive high picking up warm moist air from the south, bringing it northward. So when the two masses collide over Kansas, we are looking for some precipitation, and we'll talk about that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Strange Planet Podcast.
Of all the podcasts.
All right, start over.
Oh, see, you
I had you
me.
muted. Well, I had you muted. Now you're not muted.
No, I'm not muted. Am I good to go?
Yes, you are.
No more mute.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Strange Planet Podcast, the strangest of all the podcasts on the strangest of all the planets. We are your hosts. This is
Corey James.
and
James May.
I'm Anthony Zepatek. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Jimothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton.
Jim-
I wish I was Timothy Dalton.
Jimothy Dalton.
Jimothy Dalton. What do you like better, Timothy Dalton in James Bond movies or Timothy Dalton in Hot Fuzz? Because
Hot Fuzz.
I'm Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hot Fuzz for sure.
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz for sure. Welcome to the show. We are back. We had the week off last week. Holidays screws up your work schedule. when you're
Holidays.
Forced to do things you don't want to. But we're back this week. We got a great show lined up for you. How's everybody doing today?
Not too bad.
Not bad.
Too
Another
bad.
day.
Nice.
Another day.
Nice.
Yourself?
Nothing.
Yourself?
Fantastic. I'm actually, I tell you what, usually I get a little bit drunk during the show. Today I am drunk pre-show because I just got done with a 2.5-hour hike
Nice.
and
Of drinking and hiking.
drinking and hiking.
So that's a good hike. Did you climb
Smoke
any
a little
rocks?
Smoke a little doobie, do a little doober. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm having fun. I'm ready to go.
Do you climb some rocks, James said?
Well, dude, if you're drinking and hiking,
Yeah,
and
you
find
gotta
a
climb
rock
some
to climb,
boulders.
you gotta climb those fucking rocks.
I definitely jumped up on a rock. It was not rock climbing, but I tell you what, it was rock climbing. It was rock climbing for all the listeners at home. Let's get the show started. We've got a huge, giant trailer that came out this week. Denis Villeneuve, I probably pronounced that wrong, has directed a remake of Dune. And we
Yeah,
got the
buddy.
trailer this week.
We've been waiting for a while for that.
Yeah. Any original Dune fans in the house? Because I know this guy's got his hand up.
The book. I like the book. The 80s movie was good in its own thing.
Yeah, the book is from 1965,
Yeah.
and the movie came out in 1984. I love the movie. I love the original Dune. I think
There's
it's fantastic.
an HBO series from the early 2000s as well, I think.
Yes, that is
But I've never
correct.
seen it.
No, I've not either.
I've seen none of it at all. I have no affiliation with it in any way.
See, and that strikes me as odd.
Almost
because
as surprising, right? Because I love
Right,
sci-fi
yeah,
and
like,
shit. Yeah, but like,
watch
okay,
the original Dune is like
I'll watch
right up
it.
your alley, man.
okay, I'll watch it.
Definitely, it's on HBO Max.
I have it.
Check
have
it
it.
out there. There you go.
Check it out there.
the director dude, he's the dude that just did Blade Runner, right?
Yes. So
Yes.
I would think that it's going to have that, like, I feel like that his direction of that was very, it gave it that grit and that kind of just like, not scary and not necessarily menacing, but more like
Heavy.
ominous.
Ominous is a great word. Ominous is a great word.
He
I feel like it, just what I know about Dune, I feel like it should be ominous.
oh yeah.
Yes.
You can't, it can't be like, if you're gonna make a film have some sort of substance, it can't be all doom and gloom. It can't be all sunshine and shit. So you have to have both. So the ominous is a good way to put it, as I think of it.
I like that.
And when like what Blade Runner is, what he did with 2049, it's not there's that hope in the story, but the whole thing just feels like
Yeah.
everything. All of the nice, you're still like, okay.
Yeah.
Dallas,
You know, and all
Dennis-
the good, you're like, yeah. But I mean, all the bad, you're like, yeah, that was bad. Like, that was kind of good though. You know, like I don't know.
Dennis Villeneuve also directed the Amy Adams Alien movie. What was it called? Where the aliens in the glass room. and-
Arrival.
Oh, Arrival.
Arrival. Yes. He also directed that.
That was a
That's
good movie.
I love that movie.
Yes.
Great so Dune has been said by critics and tons of people over the decades since the book came out, and then the movie came out and critically panned, and audience kind of shit on it too. Has been said that it is impossible to adapt to live action, and
It's a large scope kind of thing. Yeah.
I think that if anybody would have told James, being a huge fan of Blade Runner and Zev, I mean now, but before, if someone would have said, hey, they're going to be coming out with a sequel, I think a lot of people were like, I don't know if someone could do that. And then seeing him tackle it and do it such justice and so well gives me hope, and I think a lot of people hope that he might nail it, like actually bringing Doom to a live action setting, because it's such a huge world and story to try to bring to the screen.
I think the one thing that benefits it the most is that it's being remade in our generation, to where the technology and the computer generated images are so far advanced than they were in 1984.
Right.
And practical effects are, I'm sure I speak for all three of us when I say practical effects are our favorite.
Right.
But there's certain movies that you cannot do practical effects with, and I feel like Dune is one of those.
Right.
So I feel like that's going to be.
They're going away from that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I
was
think
gonna say, or was it live action and there was no special effects in the original Dune?
There was like special effects for
the
1984.
Right.
Right.
Which
yeah.
are bad. Which
are bad,
So
but they're
does
also
this
very
have-
practical.
Does this have them in it?
yeah, I
but
believe that it's going to be
I
like a
mean,
mix.
Blade Runner was not. There's not much CGI, if any. Like,
Yeah, but there's not really anything that needs to be.
right. Does that?
Right.
Dunes.
There's no giant one-eyed sand monsters
Right.
in
Oh, okay.
Blade Runner.
Got you. I didn't know that there were giant one-eyed.
Did you watch the trailer, James?
No.
What the hell?
Then what are we even doing here?
Watch
You
the
guys-
trailer.
I'm here as an auxiliary.
Okay. That's at least we have that established.
Okay, so let's get to the trailer then, now that we know that James hasn't even watched it.
So can we get the trailer popped up in the fourth corner here? Is that a thing we can do?
um,
Probably not allowed.
I can try my damnedest without freezing me.
Fantastic. If we can get But let me just, before we try and do the trailer, let me tell you, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Oscar Isaac, but Dave Bautista. This is an all-star cast. There's somebody that I'm missing off the top of my head.
Oh, what's his face? Brandon. Not Brandon. His name's Brandon in Goonies.
Oh, Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. An
Yeah,
all-star
yeah.
cast. You know, I mean, this is... Whew, the acting chops in this are crazy. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it. I feel like... Huh? Maybe? No?
Hold on. I'm coming.
Hey, Mayday. This one's for you. Look at this. Da, 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 da.
All right, the Dune trailer is overlaid.
Damsel in distress the whole time. But let's hope that she can actually sink her teeth into this role, which I believe she will.
I hope.
I mean, Dune is set to come out,
December.
if not the end of this year, next year. If not that, then the year after.
No, they said because Wonder Woman got pushed to December 18th, everyone was wondering if Dune was going to get pushed even farther back into 2021 because there's no way that Warner Brothers would release two of their movies at the same time.
Right.
And take away from one or the other. And then they released the day after that they pushed the date for Wonder Woman. They said there's no reason, there's room for two movies in the theaters. So they're going to keep the date for Dune.
Okay, there you go. There you have it. Get excited. Watch the original. Read the book.
The audio book is on YouTube for free.
There you go.
This with no volume seemed good. I watched.
See, right? Even with no volume, the trailer seems really good.
Yes.
Do you see the lady with the mesh in front of her face that made him put his hand in the box?
Yeah.
She's one of the witches or the sisters or something. I can't remember. But there's going to be a spin-off, an HBO series spin-off already being filmed about them.
Oh, okay. Like that.
Yeah.
Coven, I guess, or whatever. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm also very excited and curious to see the lead role because he's not a well-known actor.
Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
He is actually he's actually a pretty well-known actor if you're into indie movies.
I was gonna say I don't think he's done anything too big.
No, not too big. He'll be in the new Wes Anderson movie whenever it comes out. He's set to star in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but Timothée Chalamet, and I think he does some Netflix things, like 13 Reasons Why or whatever the fuck that show is.
What?
Maybe I'm wrong.
He wasn't in the first season. Maybe the second season.
Maybe.
I watched the first season because it wasn't bad, but it didn't need a second season.
There you go. 13 Reasons Why Not to make a second season of this show.
Because it ended.
That's what it should be. We got more trailers to talk about, ladies and gentlemen.
James, did you watch this one?
Oh, dude, are you fucking shitting me?
Is that a yes?
Answer the question.
Okay. I was gonna say, is that a yes or a no?
Yes, yes,
I was
of
gonna say,
course.
that's not a
Actually,
clear
I'm gonna
answer.
write it. I'm gonna write it in capital letters.
All right.
Gentlemen, we had for season 2 of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. My fellas.
Mandos.
Dude, I'm excited. That okay, I said to Seth, I'm like, hey, did you watch the trailer? He's like, yeah, we didn't get much. I'm like, what do you mean we didn't?
Dude,
get
the voiceover at the beginning gave you the entire
mean
plot.
Yeah, what do you mean we didn't get much? I know what it's about. This is gonna be a great season. We're gonna get fucking 8 episodes, hopefully. Just that's all I want. I don't need 12.
Nope.
I want
Stick
8.
it small.
Give me 8 hour, 15 max, hour preferably. You know what I mean? Just like they were.
I think the first season was
Yeah.
half hour to 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Hour max is the best because you can get enough in an hour if you're going to do a television show. That's like we try to watch Westworld. I really was enjoying it. I watched the whole first season. We get to the second season. I'm like, dude, I can't do an hour and 25 minutes.
Westworld is a lot.
It's a movie every time. There's so
Right.
much you can cut out of it. I love the concept, but like with seeing that trailer and like you said, we got everything it's going to be about with the narrative over. Not everything. There's going to be the side stories
Right.
and
At least what
whatnot. But
why we're
there's
looking
no
forward to
filler.
it.
Like season 1, there wasn't filler.
No.
It all felt fluid. It was a part of the story, which I think appeals to fans like you. This is kind of an HTOTD. It's more of a like a comic book concept to where it's not necessary to the story. It's not integral, but it's a part of their journey.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there was no reason for he to have to go to the Village.
Oh, I
other
know.
than
Everybody talks
reason
crap
he
on the
had
Village
to.
episode.
But I love that.
I know, that's
Village
such a good episode.
It's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
You know,
It built
it's
on the character. It was the first time
fun.
we built on the actual character.
It's and that it's great storytelling, and with what if I have to add, and I'll let you guys go. Sorry, I'm ranting because I am pumped on this.
No, I'm glad you're pumped.
It's like it has that little bit of campy Star Wars with he hits the button.
Yeah, he swipes
Maybe,
over top.
he's like he knows
Right?
it's coming because they're like boys now, and he's got to take them to the sorcerers, the enemy, because that's the lore, and that just adds to it. This is the Star Wars we want.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad
Right?
they're expanding on it.
This is the Star Wars we want. It's the Star Wars we fucking deserve. Because we're fans of fucking A New Hope. We're
yeah.
fans of that. You know what I mean? So we deserve this. This is what we deserve. And
We're getting the journey again. Like, that was the
Right.
when
The
I look
point
back
of
at the new trilogy and why I still have I have Disney Plus and I could watch the third one at any point in time, and I choose not to.
I love Revenge of the Sith.
Well, no.
Rock and roll.
I'm talking about the new
Revenge of the
trilogy.
Sith. Oh, okay.
The new one.
I like that
The new guys. I see. I think why it fell flat for me is because it didn't have the journey. It felt like each movie was very like, this is where she's at, and this is what's happening, and that's it. And then the next movie was like, this is where she's at now, and we missed the journey in between each movie. And that
struggle.
Yeah, and in the original trilogy, we were along for the ride for every little thing that happened to Luke. Like we were in the Millennium Falcon the first time when he just looked at everything and he had the helmet on and he was trying to lightsaber for the first time and there's a chess game in the background. Like little stuff like that makes you feel more into the story. And that's what The Mandalorian is. It makes you feel like you're in that ship with him and you're going from planet to planet and you're not really sure what the hell's going on.
Dude, the way the trailer starts with the door flapping and the engine not fully boosting, and he's just like kind of floating through space getting to that planet, like you said, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It is that journey. You see, it's character building.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not too much. And then, like, I see this Cyclops guy that's like,
Mark Hamill.
and I'm like, yeah. Is that who that is?
It is. It's Mark Hamill.
Nice. That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So.
But no,
Do we, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, did you notice James, did you notice the WWE superstar cameo in that trailer there?
I don't believe I did.
The black hooded lady standing off to the side is Sasha Banks.
No
Oh,
way.
Nice.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Very cool.
Yep. Yeah. So apparently she's going to be a Jedi, which is great because it's bringing the wrestling fans. They're like, oh shit, I want to see Sasha Banks in The Mandalorian. Why wouldn't I?
I'm so. Like, I was talking to a buddy of mine about this, and he said, I'm so tired of them saying in Star Wars, like, oh, there's a myth in our history about sorcerers. Like, people know what the Jedi are. They were part of the freaking government for, like, hundreds and hundreds of years. And the Mandalorians should know their history. They should know that there was a massive civil war between the Mandalorians and the Jedi. Like, they should know that stuff.
It says in that she was like, he's like, give it to the enemy.
But that's what I was gonna. What I said to him was, I actually like this point in here. When they did it with Harrison Ford, Han Solo, and he was like, "Oh, that hocus pocus magic, that's the myth." Like, he should have knew what it was. But the movie was being made at the time, so the lore hadn't been made around it. So I forgive that. But in this one, it feels like it's building on it because they're already destroyed. They're already on the brink of extinction. They're living underground in very small numbers. They probably don't have their texts or their teachings or anything.
where does season 1 of The Mandalorian lay in the Star Wars canon?
It's it's after Return.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's 10 years or maybe 5 years. 5 years after Return.
Okay.
It's right after the fall of the Empire, right? Which is why they
at
constantly
that
are
point-
talking about it. But they should know what they are.
Right, yeah. I mean, like you said, at that point, the Jedi already established things.
Well,
It was Order 66 in
I mean,
Revenge of
but
the
you have to
Sith.
think of in the prequel movies, that was a good 100 years before New Hope? Or not? I guess it wasn't. No, because Anakin was there, so it had to have been like.
Oh, true.
I guess it wasn't that long ago.
Had to have been like 30 years, 40
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Wow, I always thought it was such a big gap between New Hope and the end of, but then I guess Luke and Leia were born at the end, so
Yeah, so you got to figure.
literally it's probably
like
like 18 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 18 to 25 years between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
But just I liked the little her saying, like you just said, James, her saying like in one of our texts, it spoke of, the
Right.
sorcerers or whatever that possessed magic and all this stuff. So like and I think maybe it's just me, but the forger lady, I think she knows. I think she knows more than she leads on. Like in season 1, I just got this vibe from her. Like she is way more aware of everything that's going around them. And like I think that's why she's pushing him in the direction she is. Because like in the first season, she was like, well, you're going to have to take him and go. And then in the narrating at the beginning of the season, it really hits hard because she's like, well, you have to take him to the Jedi. She don't say Jedi, but
But the sorcerers. Okay, this is just like you have to take him and go. You know what I mean?
that is a high thought.
That's just like if you're going to go there and they know the lore and she does know more, maybe she was or is or does have force powers because they're trying to also meld the universe with everybody and the gray Jedi stuff. So that would also, as a fan, I would be okay with them introducing it that way to where both sides have it,
I
but
think
use it for different ways,
Yeah.
like different reasons.
Well,
Because I
let's-
like think about real quick. Think about the Force, how people would use it. Some people would be outward and they use like fucking Force lightning or Force choke, and others would do these are not the droids you're looking for. The subtleties of it. So like I feel like it could have a different dynamic if you want to expand on it. If you're going to make the Force universal, then you have to give it different qualities.
right.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, because that's one thing I hated about the end of with the kid grabbing the broom and like the speculation of everybody has the Force,
Yeah.
and then people talking about great Jedi's, which is like a good concept and whatever, and that's part of like old lore. I think now it's not, or is it still new lore?
Well,
I
they
don't
don't. You don't have to worry about any of that crap in that trilogy anymore because they are dropping it. Like anything that they built, and they
Okay.
saw the backlash when the kid grabbed the broom, or especially when they brought J.J. Abrams back in and he just like came up with the ending of the story on the spot and had no idea. Like none of that was pre-thought out. Like he just was like, maybe she's a Palpatine. Let's do it.
Right.
So now with what they're doing with this building, and I'm really excited for, is them connecting. Because they dropped the last season of Clone Wars, the animated series, on Disney Plus, and they connected it directly with Osaka straight into The Mandalorian, which is why we're going to get a live action Osaka in this new Mandalorian season.
Dude, that with you, Zev, saying Sasha Banks there, I thought with her like attitude in the WWE, I would think maybe they might translate that because
Why not?
Ahsoka is very fucking sassy.
Well, Ahsoka is going to
And,
be Rosario Dawson. I believe they cast her already.
Oh, there you go.
Well, no, I know, but I'm not saying she is her.
Oh,
I'm
I
saying
got you.
that, like,
Just that style.
they are an affiliated thing.
Yeah.
You know, obviously they would be.
Yeah, I
Right.
got you.
She's a Jedi, because that's what you would assume watching it. So no, that it is cool. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah,
that's
and with
like an
them-
ominous lady. I didn't even take note. I'm kind of mad at myself now that I know that. I
And
watched it again.
with them connecting them, and then also with a lot of the casting, there's an untitled movie that is being casted for right now, and they started casting a character for an older teenage Yoda character.
Well, you see, and that leads me on to my next question.
So they're going to
is
connect it
that-
straight up with the Mandalorian. They're pushing the new trilogy away, and they're forgetting it.
And see, and it's that we have Baby Yoda, and this is, X amount of years after. I mean, where's the Mandalorian laying? It's after Return.
It's about 5
like
years
5
after.
years.
And then there's a gap in the middle of season 1 that spans about a year.
Okay.
And then between season 1 and season 2, if Carl Weathers' beard is any indication, we're going to have about probably maybe 5 to 10 year gap between season 1 and season 2.
And there you go. So, we just got done with The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and Rise of the Skywalker.
Right, which is 30 years after.
At what point is there middle-aged Yoda during those movies?
Well, that's
Are
what I
we-
said, but they didn't have it. That's the problem with writing, is when they wrote the new trilogy, they didn't have the Mandalorian even in mind. So
Right.
now they have Baby Yoda. Of course, he wasn't in Force
I
Awakens.
don't know. It's a think about like it's a messianic tale in
Right.
in its essence, no matter what. Like
It's the hero's
Luke
journey,
was the
but,
Messiah at
Yeah.
that point, a hero tale, right? You know,
but you
that-
also have the
that
Virgin.
one to
and-
rely on. But then you also had so look at Yoda as God and Luke or Anakin or whoever is bringing the balance. It's still a good and evil.
Right.
Is
You know
Obi-Wan
what I mean? So
the one bringing the balance?
I mean, as we all love Obi-Wan, he is the only one to be like
Truly good.
acknowledged to be truly good, and you don't hate him for like anything.
Right.
Maybe other than the
Well, that's the stupid like, oh, well, my mentor,
you know what I mean?
my mentor said that I have to train this kid, even though I know he's gonna grow up to be the freaking
Right.
downfall of
Yeah.
everything. Like,
Well, I
That
have a
too.
tattoo on my back that says "Don't trust Qui-Gon Jinn," and I live by those words.
oh, I love
see-
Qui-Gon Jinn though.
Live by those words.
But the thing is, there is. Excuse me. If I were writing, it would be that there is only one Yoda
Well, there is only one Yoda.
at a time.
So,
Per
like
time.
once.
So since Yoda, and it's not necessarily like in a 40 or 80 year or 8,000 year increment when they're born
the biscuits.
and grow, but when
Did
when
you?
a new Yoda is
You knew that.
needed,
Hey, come here and kiss me.
is.
Right. That's what a lot of
And
people
then
speculated when he
it
came.
grows its life.
Was that
and
he
it
was
is Yoda. It's the Yoda we know, but the Yoda we're seeing now is its early Yoda. I would love for it to be like that. I think that's it romanticizes it to a point where it makes us know why we loved him.
So there's
Like
an
why we love
episode.
Yoda.
There's an episode in season 8 of the Clone Wars animated series where Anakin and Obi-Wan and Osaka get sucked into a wormhole and sent to a planet out in the middle of nowhere that no one has ever seen before. And it's one episode that is basically Star Wars encapsulated, the story of Star Wars in one episode, where they land on this planet where they were following a distress signal, and they got sucked into this like vortex or something. I don't know. But they come out onto this planet where there's a leader called the Father, and he has two children, the daughter and the son. One is the light side. The daughter is the light side of the Force, and the son is the dark side. And the father is meant to bring balance and keep them both into check. So the whole planet is constantly in battle because of these two children. The father is dying, so he sent the distress signal thinking that Anakin could come to be the new father because everybody thought that he was the new balance.
Right.
Not knowing that he was already on the way to the dark side. So the son actually gets to him first and tries to turn him. People are speculating with the new season connecting this straight up to The Mandalorian that the name of Baby Yoda is connecting it straight up to that storyline, the child. They call him the child because he is the balance incarnate from that planet, and that's the planet that he needs to go back to. Just some food for thought, because it makes sense why the child he doesn't have parents, like James just said. He's born from the Force. He is meant to bring balance, whether that be dark or light.
Now, is it safe to say that between, Anakin, Luke, Leia, Rey, Kylo, we have never seen a true balance to the Force? Is that safe to say now?
Yeah.
Balance is constant back and forth, though.
Right, because I think that's what it is. It's a give and take, a tug
It's a
of war.
dance.
Thanos is a balance to the Force. It's it's right there in the middle. I don't think we've ever seen an actual balance to the Force in a Star Wars anything.
Well, you're looking at it from the perspective of somebody watching the movies or watching the show. So they're showing you only pinpoints in time of when things were chaotic. You have to think of how many 100-year piece before the prequel started. Since the Civil War. So there was a balance. It wasn't actually a balance because it was on the light side. So that's why Anakin had to be born to pull the dark side into that, to make it balanced. So I guess what you're saying is, like, it would have to be both coinciding at the same time peacefully? But if it's peacefully, it's not dark.
Well, now that I think
it's like a contradiction.
The closest we've come to a balance in the Force is probably Luke. Because he taps into the good and the evil.
He also brings Darth Vader back and redeems him.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man.
Could baby?
I need another beer.
I need another beer too.
Well, we can't all get up at the same time.
I'm going
I need
next.
another beer.
I'm
call
going
it
next.
But is Baby Yoda or the child gonna be the true balance to the Force that we end up seeing?
I'm a part of me doesn't want him to be. It's weird. Like, it's weird that I don't want it to just be the same thing over again.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be that cop-out of, like, well, we gave you a really good story, but where else are we going to go? We're going to make him either a Jedi or he's going to turn to the dark side. Maybe he will actually be some type of true balance.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to watch and find out. Are we actually going to
Episode
see?
in season 2 where Baby Yoda just massacres a room full of people.
Yeah, instead of an adult Anakin massacring a bunch of children, it'll be a baby massacring a bunch of adults.
Let's look at that trailer where, you know, Baby Yoda, whenever shit's about to go down, he hits the button and the pod comes up, but then we see black. We don't see anything.
Well, that's the whirling birds.
All
his
we
wrist.
do is assume that it's the Mandalorian that is causing all this widespread destruction.
Well, that's why
maybe it's two of them.
You missed the whole point, Anthony.
Hey.
The whole point was he hit the button on his wrist and opened the whirling birds, which were from the first season. And remember, and he hits the button, and then I think the whistling things go everywhere and kill everyone all at once. So he doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
He just hits the button, and then everybody drops.
It's Baby Yoda.
One problem I have with the child is the inconsistency in intelligence.
Yes.
Sometimes he seems like he knows what's going on and he can do things. Other times it barely seems like he can walk. Like, I just don't like the inconsistency, especially because he's 50 years old when Mandalorian finds him.
Right.
And I get that they grow, you know, Yoda was 600 and some when he died.
Yes.
So I get they develop at a slow rate. But, like, to think, okay, so they found him when he's 50. If there's, say, 15 years within this whole span of The Mandalorian so far, so he's about 65, when does their intelligence start, when do they actually start to mature? Like, if it's 30 years till he might not even be a teenager by The Force Awakens.
Is it 54 years? Could we be getting 4 seasons of The Mandalorian and then we finally see Baby Yoda do its thing?
But he wouldn't be. He'd still be a baby. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
he probably wouldn't be a teenager until he was around like 200 years old, right? If they live till they're 600. Are you okay, James?
We don't have. I don't know what you were talking about, but are you talking about this Baby Yoda being actual Yoda?
No, he's the child, but they're species.
Right. Oh, so how long?
They live to about 600 to 700
original
years.
Yoda.
No, they found the child.
Oh, so how many?
He was
movies
50
could we
years
get?
old.
Like what is the timeline?
Everybody wants to see teenage Yoda. Sorry, I keep saying teenage Yoda. Teenage the child. So, and you guys were just talking about earlier, like, where was he in The Force Awakens or the new trilogy? But with their aging and their maturity in their years, he probably would have only been, in our years, like 10 in the Force Awakens trilogy.
Well, and that could also, like, if it ties into those, but you said we should forget about.
Yeah. I mean, they're not.
But if it does tie in, it might be cool to get 4 seasons, see one spin-off show of teenage, and it die.
Yeah, kill him. That's a good idea. I'm gonna grab a beer.
Because without Yoda, baby, the child, that balance, then that brought this, which breeds the gray.
Right.
That is like old lore, old canon, and now the new. So there are so many ways to go, and I think what we're talking about seems like good ideas. So if anybody, just because I think that it should be dark. It's old. So as it's old now, the original fans are old. We're old.
Yes.
We need to hear. We want to see real shit. We don't need it to be.
I mean, Han got stabbed by his son in the first prequel or the first sequel series.
Yes. Yeah, that one was fine. But the second one was like, okay. I mean, really good lightsaber battle for sure. But and there were really great parts, but there was a lot of just like.
Yeah, I mean, they cut
And like you said, the newest one was not amazing, but it was an
didn't see
okay end for whatever they had already fucked up for the last two.
I didn't
You
see
know
it,
what
but I know
mean?
too much
Like,
about it.
So, you know.
Basically, what we're saying is the Mandalorian season 2 trailer came out.
Yeah, we just
And
like knocked
got a
out
lot
like
of
almost the
thoughts.
whole podcast on just the Mandalorian trailer.
We got a lot of thoughts on it, and we're very invested. Can't wait till it comes out. Was that the Pretenders?
That's my ringtone.
Next topic we have today is we're gonna keep in that outer space kind of realm, and James is gonna, or not James, Corey's gonna tell us about this while I go grab a beer.
Hey. So, hey, you like freeze framed perfectly, right, when you were doing your thumbs up. So, NASA has confirmed that they have found phosphorine materials in the clouds of Venus. And the only two places that they have ever found that material is it's produced by organic things, people, animals, living things, germs, plants. And I think the other one, I can't remember the second one where they found them. There's another planet, or not another planet. They also created it in a lab. So,
Well, okay, my thing with I didn't look it up, but from what I can gather, what you're saying is it seems like it's something of maybe like phosphorine. So if it's phosphorus, we know that burns, but we also know that it can bring like iridescence and whatnot. So like it burns. That's my only skepticism, is that just because what we know phosphorine to exist as does not mean that it can't exist on a planet that is at surface level hundreds of degrees.
in their paper,
You know what I mean?
yeah, in the paper that was wrote,
And I don't know the science of it, but
Yeah,
that's just my
they
my
said-
thought of it.
they said they were looking at it, they found it, they saw, and they confirmed that it is there. So there's three things. It could either be created by what we know from organic material, or from something that we don't know that is in
Right.
the paper. That's always with science, especially when you're looking
Well,
at
you
space.
have
You don't
to-
fucking know.
Yeah, it's like it is so close to the sun.
Yes,
And those clouds it rains sulfuric acid.
but they also
You know,
they know
like-
that the clouds and the height, and they've sent probes there. They know that layer of clouds is actually, it's 70 degrees,
Oh, so it's kind of like,
and it's all moisture. It's all water vapor.
which is what's keeping it in
Right. So if they're,
there, you would think.
Yeah. It's just cool. It's not going to be
If
like
any place it could breed life, it might be that.
different type of life, but yes,
Uh-huh.
life.
Well, that's my thing. Like, if you really think there's no way it's sentient, and if it fucking is, we should be afraid.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, something that's alive in those conditions that can think.
Living in a cloud above
No.
an acid
No.
planet.
No, don't need it. Don't want to interact with it. I'm a little afraid at this point.
Some Venusian cloud whales.
Venusian 2, listen, or 1.
Venusian cloud whales. That's my I'm coining that.
Perihelion. No, that's King Gizzard. Infest the rat's nest, man. They're Venusian.
There is no planet B.
Well, yeah, but Venusian 1 and Venusian 2.
Mhm.
It's about going to Venus.
Yeah, I know.
Apparently, they knew. that
They
there
knew it was
life
coming.
there already.
Well, apparently
Yeah,
they've been
well,
looking
and
at
two,
this for
it-
60 years.
And also, though, too, with King Gizzard, just talking about that, A Superbug.
That's a great song.
Superbug is like a truck. Penicillin is a duck. We'll sit it on the road for luck.
Yo, that freaking album came out like literally like
Was a flop.
1
like,
year
last
before
year.
COVID came.
Right. So they predicted it. That's
Sons
my
of
thing.
bitches. Sons of bitches.
And
They
it was
knew.
a
It's their
Venusian
fault.
thing,
They
too.
knew because
They
they
know.
released it.
They know.
They knew it.
But yeah,
Knew
I
it.
thought that was pretty cool. If we do confirm somehow that it is being produced by an organic life form, then fuck, man. We just discovered life, and it was literally on a planet that's right fucking beside us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to see how, continuously closer and closer we are to getting to finding life forms out there. All we have to do is look, I feel like I don't
Just
know
a lot
what-
to look at.
Yeah, right. It's just a lot to look at, and maybe we're too focused on planets out there and we're not focused on the ones that are right next to us,
Agreed. All
I
right,
don't know.
we can go. We can go to the heavy one if you guys want.
Let's do it.
What is that one?
Cancel culture.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what cancel culture is? It's what we're living in right now, man. So we every week we kind of touch on the internet, and it's like how big it is and what the scope of having all the knowledge and all the false knowledge and everything at your fingertips all at once, all the time, and the good side of it and the bad side of it. Well, cancel culture has been happening more and more this past year or two, where large swarms of people on social media they seek out celebrities or people of importance, and they look for something to attack them. And then they attack them. And they attack them in the millions. And they bully them and they attack them until either one of two, what they want to happen is for them to lose their job, their whatever show they're on or whatever business they're in be canceled, which is why it's cancel culture. And it's happening more and more. I see it, man, Twitter is just like riddled with this bullshit. And this past week, what's her name? I just blanked on her name. The chick from The Mandalorian. The MMA chick.
I know who you're talking about.
I just said her name this morning. Like, I've been talking about her to my wife. Cara Garino? Does that sound something like that? No, her name's Cara Dune. Her name's Cara Dune in the show. I can't remember her. Anyway, so I think it took me a really long time last night to track down what the hell was going on, because everyone is attacking her right now and saying that she should step down from either being in The Mandalorian or Disney should kick her out and fire her and all this other stuff. And I was trying to figure out why.
What did she say?
So all the comments were saying that she's transphobic. So I was trying to back down through all these threads, try to figure out what the hell she did, because I could not find anywhere. I have her on Twitter. I follow her on Twitter. I see the things that she says, and she posts stuff all the time like, we're all humans. We're all living on this planet. We all need to love each other. It doesn't matter if you're, this, that, the other. She posts that stuff all the time, so I was so confused on what the hell she said. So I finally figured out and pieced together all these different things that is it Pedro Pascal? The dude that plays the Mandalorian?
He's a piece of shit.
He changed his name on Twitter to his name and then he/him.
Right.
So everyone took to Twitter and went to her and said, look what he's doing for the transgender community. And he's putting pronouns in his name, in his profile. You have to put pronouns in your profile. And she said, no, I don't want to. And then she was attacked, and she was sent death threats and all this other stuff. So
Well,
here's the problem. She went
there's
to
a
her
lot of
profile.
layers.
She went to her profile, and she put her name, and then she put beep/boop. Like a droid. And their pronouns.
Yeah.
So now everyone is literally attacking her, saying that she's transphobic.
Well,
And telling
okay.
her that she should, and telling Disney that they should fire her. The trailer came out and she
That's
posted
really
it.
funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
And I think that's really funny and really clever because, like, it's so weird when you. I don't care about, like, you should know my stance on the trans world. I'm okay with all of that. It's fine. What you want to be called is okay. But you shouldn't assume that anybody is just going to be like, I know that you want to be called whatever. You know what I mean? So on your my point is that it doesn't matter. There was no reason to bring it up in the first place. So the beep and boop, I think it's clever because beep boop. So you're like beep. Beeping is like the male part, and then boop is like getting booped.
I
I
guess
think
if
it's.
you wanna
I
look
think.
at it
I
that
think.
way.
I think that's really funny because it's also a play on what are we talking about when what are you identifying as? Is this a sexual thing or is this a social thing? Because they're two different things in and of themselves. So why get angry about the identification overall when they're split? As far as, like, is it a sexual thing or is it a social thing? Because the social thing is that if we should just call everybody it at that point, and that was a joke. I'm not being a dick, but, like, I am being a dick. What is the argument for how you should assume I should assume you are? You know what I
Right.
mean? That's where it is at that point. I get that all of it. You just say, like, you just. Do we get to the point where it's like you scan my phone and you know how to approach me? Or I'm just like, hey, I would like to be called Loretta. My name is Loretta. I want to keep babies in a box. That's a Monty Python. Like,
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what that is.
Well,
Go ahead,
okay.
Zev.
So, Pedro Pascal.
I don't
go
know who
back
that
to
is.
this.
No
He's the
idea.
Mandalorian.
Please.
He's the
He can be
Mandalorian.
he can be a bit of a world-class a-hole on social media, and he has his own agenda going on. Like, I've looked into that. It's been brought to my attention over the last week. There's a bit of him that can be a bit of a dickhead sometimes. And I'm not asking for anybody to be canceled, but I'm saying, like, let's look at all the sides of this thing. Like, and yeah, her with her beat boop, that's fine. That's fine with me.
Yeah, well, I
But
think
maybe she was enticed, or it was brought out of her by what Pedro Pascal was saying, because he's not the best human being in the world. And I'm not saying cancel him, because
we're all people,
I-
man.
and I don't disagree. I don't disagree with cancel culture, because, like, let's look at Kevin Spacey. I mean, this guy for years preyed upon young male actors and made them do degrading, horrible shit in the guise that he was gonna get them acting roles and he was gonna take care of them. But meanwhile, he is just doing whatever the fuck he wants with these people who are just trying to fucking make it. So, and he's been canceled. I can't remember the last fucking thing that he's been in. Baby Driver.
I don't know. Yeah, they dropped him after season 1 of House of Cards as soon as all that shit came up.
Right.
And that's a scary thing, though, man, because you're taking the power that we talk about every week, this weird entity that the internet is, that we are as this weird collective, and you're taking it to such an extreme that it's almost an anything goes. It's almost like James was saying. I was talking about this a good bit last night, and I said over and over again, everyone wants to force their opinion now on you. There's no reason why she should have felt pressured to do anything. She did not do anything wrong.
Right.
So to be bullied until the point where she felt like she had to do something, and then maybe innocently, maybe not. I mean, they felt like it was a jab at their community when she put the beep boop up because she hadn't done anything yet. And then all of a sudden she does that. Now all of a sudden you're making fun of me. But I don't think that's what it was. I think, like you said, it was a point of the escalating and the pushing to that point where she felt like she needed to do something. They shouldn't have sought her out at all. To look at one co-star and be like, well, look what he did. Now you do it, or we're going to crucify you, and you should lose your job over it. Like, that's craziness. Yes, sexual assault and stuff like that is a bigger deal, but I'm still not sure that the internet and random people are the place for it. I'm not. I think that's dangerous. I think that a lot of things can be torn away from a lot of people making small little mistakes, man. We are all people, and we all say some stupid shit sometimes, and we all do some stupid shit sometimes. And to think that you're building a career, she's in season 2 of Mandalorian, dude. She's badass. In season 1, everybody was like, look at this woman character. She's so empowering, and they're making her so fucking cool. And she took fisticuffs with the Mandalorian and beat the shit out of him in season 1. And now all of a sudden, season 2, she's so excited when the trailer dropped and she posted it. Go to her page on Twitter, click on that post where she said, it's a good morning, look at the trailer. Every single one of the millions of comments is calling for her to be fired and taken out of the show. Or worse, there's a lot of mean things being said to her. And that, I'm just like, things are going a little too far, and that's what the internet is. You can't have one or the other. It's going to be.
So real quick, hold on, James. I'm sorry to cut you off,
Go ahead.
but
No, that's fine.
I just want to say my piece real quick, and then I'll kick the floor to you. Cancel culture works when it's justified. So you got your Spaceys and your Danny Mastersons, and in the wrestling community, you have your Travis Banks and El Ligero and all that. And these are terrible people that have done terrible things.
Agreed.
So to bring light to those terrible things and put these terrible people on a pedestal that the justice system is not doing, then yes, that is a good thing. But to harass and push an actress to respond to another actor's thing, I don't agree with that. There's two different sides to cancel culture.
Right.
There's the right and there's the wrong. And that's kind of where you have to split it. Because to take somebody like Kevin Spacey, who has done some terrific or terrible things in his life, but done a lot of good movies, you have to, that's where you stand as a human, to where, like, am I going to support these movies, or am I going to crucify the man who is doing terrible fucking things?
Okay, are you telling me I can't watch American Beauty?
No, watch it.
Well, that's
I'm totally gonna I'm gonna watch his movies.
Well, we
but I
just
don't
talked
have
about
to
that a
like
few
him as
weeks ago.
person.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
We just talked about, can you separate?
I'm gonna watch those movies because I
Yeah.
didn't fucking know that.
Talked about it.
Yeah, can you
So that's
separate
all I'm
the
saying.
person in the movie?
No, that's
my piece. That's my piece.
No, what you were saying, I agree with that completely, and I think that actually is a lot about what I wanted to talk about on the next cast that I had mentioned before, and we do need to talk about the idea of, it's like, the reason I'm tying them together is you say cancel culture is good when it is justified, and it's not when it isn't. And what a lot about, from what I'm gathering, I didn't know what this was until we talked about it tonight, but with what cancel culture is like, if you in your head, what Corey, you said, think your opinion know your opinion is, and you think you need to force it on someone else, or like you see this and you're like, well, no, I'm an enforcer and this is the way it is. You don't see or look at any other thing. You're just like, cancel this. It's almost like when you said cancel culture, I thought it was like the fact that like you can see something on social media and just go like that.
Right.
You see it. You can see it.
But you can choose to just boop. Yeah, no. Not
Gone.
Not what it is, unfortunately.
So the way I look at it, I think that it's
a way bigger
deeper,
monster.
It's deeper than what we're actually talking about with like targeting a specific thing.
That's why I feel like they're waiting.
An idea can be perpetuated by influence, and that's what the internet and social media currently is. So whatever is gathered together so much as a collective agreement of opinion, that's what gets enforced. And that's the like scary part about it, is that actually I follow a bunch of conspiracy theory things, and they talk about how, I saw one, and this dude made a very strong argument about how AI has already taken over. And it is that machine. It's that machine of our collective thought. Or not ours, not we three, like we three, and then we get
right.
3 each, and we have that whole collective idea. So there's this net of thought that is an actual tangible thing we can see. We look at it, we read it, and the algorithms put it to you. So within the cancel culture, like I said, Zev, you kind of missed this. What I thought it was in my like first thought is just, oh, I see it. Oh, like you cancel it. You just cancel it out. It doesn't agree with me, so it cancel it out. So it kind of ties right into this thought that like, I don't agree with what you're doing. He did this, you should do that. And what you said too, he's a piece of shit. Why do you even just go he, him? Why are you putting in your name he, him? That's transphobic, I think, because now aren't you being like super non-binary, like binary? You're being super binary at this point. You're being like asshole-ish to those. It's not a nice thing. So where, for me,
I guess you're supposed to label yourself nowadays. I don't know.
I don't need labeled. I mean, if you want to, I'm fairly effeminate.
Do I
I'm
need
the most masculine man? You know what I mean?
Reminded that Pedro Pascal is a he, him? No,
Well, people are praising him for it, man.
That's so silly.
And now, if you go on Twitter right now and just scroll down through random celebrities or random people. I already saw at least 20 random people that were retweeted on my Twitter feed that have started doing that. Their name is this, and then they or she or he or their.
Okay.
Like,
And
what does that
that's
even?
like-
See,
You're a they?
we're probably going to say the same thing right now, Mayday. Whereas that doesn't need to be said. Be what you are.
Well, now you're getting into the thing I've said for a long time about even before all the other stuff came to light, as in these past years, when gay people were coming out and trying to fight for their rights and stuff. I always said, like, can't you just be? And I always got attacked for that because they're fighting for their rights and they're fighting for things and they're fighting for that. So they have to.
They oppressed what they did. They needed
So you have to look at that
yeah.
from every perspective now, because these transgender people are saying that they feel attacked by her because of what she did. It was a call out saying this she was making fun of their community. So now they feel personally attacked,
I guess,
even though they were attacking her first.
I guess.
Oh, I get it. Is it that, sorry to interrupt you, but is it that shallow that they think that she meant they're robots or they're like not human?
I think it was
No,
just
that's
because
not
she
the
wasn't
thing.
taking them seriously.
I think what they think, they think that she thinks it's a
It was a
joke.
joke.
It's a joke.
Right.
She's
okay.
making a mockery of their community.
But not really. I think that I think she was making it, honestly, if I had to say, she's making a joke at the fact that it's a problem. Like, that it was even an issue. She's like, well, here.
Oh, she 100% was.
something,
Yeah.
Because I'm not, like, I don't need to say I'm a she. I'm a woman.
Right, she is.
I can whoop your ass. You know what I mean? But I'm a woman, and there it is, so beep boop.
The swarm
Fuck off.
factor of what I was talking about
ladies
earlier.
and gentlemen, James May just said that he's a woman on the podcast.
I'm a woman.
did.
Fuck off.
I did.
So the swarm thing is what I was talking about earlier, and when James was just talking, it was really just turning in my head because he was saying about the AI thing where we are as a collective on the internet now kind of persuading in an intelligence of how we do things now, and that's exactly what it is. It's a swarm. It's a mob mentality, and it's not in the hundreds in a physical space. It's in the billions or the millions on digital space, and that's dangerous because it flows faster than anything, and it can attack one single person, millions of people all at once. Right around the same time, it was trending at number 2 on Twitter yesterday, was cancel Netflix because of.
Is it because of
that kid
child molestation
Hey,
show with
dude.
Yeah.
Dude. Go ahead. If you want to finish your thought, go ahead. But I watched that fucking movie.
Oh, did they put it out? Because I thought they pulled it.
It's on. I fucking watched it.
Oh, because I thought
And
they
I
pulled it.
didn't finish it because I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, whatever, it's like we watched dance movie. We watched fucking Bring It On. Those girls were fucking 15, 16.
There's something they were portrayed. No,
I was gonna say they're actually in their like
Were they?
20s.
That's the
Were they
difference,
all-
because in the
okay.
movie Bring It On, you have like 20-something-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Playing-
No, this is I couldn't
This is
do it.
not literal 11
I couldn't do it.
shaking their booties,
Saying they were 14 in the movie.
right.
Which okay, I watched all but probably a half an hour. It's not super long, if I recall, but it was so, like,
Unsettling.
it was fine at first. You're like, okay. It's like, no. Girls coming of age, it's like the popular girls who dress better, and she's kind of like underprivileged. You're like, okay, all right. And then there's all their dancing, and it's like, well, why are you dancing that way? No, it really. I'm not canceling Netflix because there are so many other movies, but that movie really shouldn't have been made. I don't know if you need to attack Netflix at this point. That's the other thing too. Here's cancel culture at its finest. You don't cancel Netflix. You go after the people who fucking funded the production
Well,
of
Netflix.
that film, because it's
It's a Netflix original, so Netflix did fund it.
okay.
Yeah, Netflix. Maybe Netflix bought the rights to.
Yeah, I'm not
to-
saying they had a
but-
personal
but
like
who-
connection and they
didn't
were
have
actually
a
wrote it or
creative
something.
Mind
Right.
behind it. Netflix
But still,
only wants
they
to
knew
make
what
fucking
it
money.
was.
Right.
Ugh.
But yeah, so the swarm mentality, the mob mentality that I was talking about was someone put cancel Netflix as a hashtag up on Twitter because of this. and within 24 hours, it was trending at number 2, and Netflix saw over 1 million subscribers cancel. They took one of the biggest dents in their history.
It's consequences and repercussions. You're gonna act that way. You gotta be willing to do.
I think it's just a little.
What happens?
I guess my whole point is it's a little finicky for your saying, like, back the whole way up to what you said and your stand on the whole thing. You said that some of it's justified, and then the other side of the coin is it's not. But if you talked to a transgender person who was in the whole thing and felt offended by her, I'm sure they would tell you that they felt it was justified. I'm sure all of those people would tell you that they felt it was justified. So you're talking an opinion. You're talking a collective opinion of people saying, well, this is justified.
Yeah. Dude.
I don't know. See, I feel like you might have gotten us canceled by this whole topic.
No, I think it's a great topic because it is. There's no clear answer. It's so huge and so powerful and terrifying.
And since this is the heavy topic, it goes right down to the fucking political ads I see and get. You know, I see Joe Biden telling me that he's going to make a national fucking law where everybody has to wear a mask. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Because there is the current ability to have a medical excuse to not wear one.
Yeah, but there's also we're gonna yell now because shut the fuck.
Oh, dude.
Breathing problems because they're being told. Hey, you want to talk about this or not? What do you want to do here?
Okay, well then, all right. With my mother with 30% lung function, with a doctor's excuse, she doesn't have to wear a mask. So if you want to talk about it, let me fucking talk, okay?
Okay, sir. The floor is yours.
Talk.
So, your microphone.
My point is cancel culture. I hear political ads. Joe Biden tells me he's going to make I'm not voting for Trump. I see your face. Oh man, I wish I was in a room with you right now. But anyhow.
Because you'd kiss it so hard, you sexy beast.
This. And he tells me he's going to make me wear a mask. And then Donald Trump doesn't listen to the state of California's officials begging him to listen to science.
Science doesn't
and
know.
Not let the entire West Coast burn down. The point of the matter is what we're talking about is that everybody thinks that they're right and they don't listen. And everybody's situation is different. California is burning down, and most everyone I talk to doesn't even know it's happening. So my point with yelling at you, and I'm sorry I yelled at you, but like Joe Biden with the mask thing, there are people who don't need to wear a mask or don't have to wear a mask. If you don't think you have to, don't wear it. But I wear mine. And if you don't, I do judge you because you should probably put it on. It's not that oppressive. Speaking of my mother, when she does go out, she puts it on because she also has lupus and is immune compromised. So there's so much to all of it that there is no real, like, why are you blaming others for getting through themselves? You know what I mean? Like, I'm being neurotic now because this is such a convoluted topic when it comes to what is right. Like, I'm going
Right.
back to what Corey said. He's like, what is justified?
Right.
What is right?
That's
It's not what you think.
That's what I'm saying. Zev's got such a concrete, and that's how everyone is right now. Everyone has such a concrete idea in their head that I know that this
What is
is right.
And I don't.
And another person that you're talking to, no, but another person that you're talking to says, no, I am right. That's all it is. And this is a completely different thing than the internet, but when you take that perspective of each individual and you multiply it by 1,000,000 at the speed of the internet, that's where you get the terrifying mob mentality.
So it wait, hold on. No, I'll go ahead. I don't want to go anymore.
I was gonna say, Anthony, you can
on
speak
that.
your piece.
Yeah, for sure.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
You know,
this
you're
has
the
been
speaker
Strange
piece.
Planet podcast, strangest of all the podcasts on truly the strangest of all the planets.
Oh yeah.